Hello and welcome back to the lovely Peak District, and today is a bit of a spontaneous walk because I was supposed to be going to London to do a little bit of climbing at the castle, but because of the train strikes we decided to bail on that idea and have a day out in the Peak District. So we were going to go to Horseshoe Quarry and do a bit of sport climbing there, but unfortunately it hammered it down all day yesterday and the Peak District is pretty much flooded everywhere. So we had a quick look at Horseshoe and the rock was so wet we just walked straight away from the crag and have decided to come on a walk just nearby. So we started just down on the A road, I can't remember which A road it is actually, but just near, I think it's called the Grouse Inn, and we're heading up onto White Edge and then we're going to follow the top of Curbar and Froggatt Edge on the way back to check out a stone circle. I think it's going to be about 5.5 or 6 miles in total, and the weather is definitely on and off. Not meant to have any rain today, but so far it's not stopped really, except just now, and even now the cloud is still pretty grey, so we're anticipating some rain, but hopefully we'll get some nice views and just enjoy this walk, and then we're going to do some indoor climbing in Sheffield on the way home. So we're up on White Edge Moor at the moment, and the actual edge just runs down over here, and we've got such a wonderful view over towards Windhill and then ahead of us along the edge, and I can actually just make out the trig point at the top about half a mile or so ahead. So hopefully you can hear me because the wind is howling through here, but I'm just heading to the true top of White Edge Moor at 366 metres above sea level, and I believe it's this point, although just there looks a little bit higher. So I'm probably going to head over to this point rather than here. I'm sure it showed it here on the map. So having checked the map, yeah, this apparently is the highest point according to Ordnance Survey, not the bit over there that looks slightly higher. So I'm going to go back on the main path and then head over to the trig point just on the other summit. So I'm now up on White Edge, and this trig point here marks 365 metres above sea level. And Chatsworth, that sort of lovely area of the peaks, is down that way. I can see the top of Win Hill over there, and some rather dramatic grey clouds probably coming my way, of course they are. But I'm now going to descend down this side of White Edge, down to an ancient cairn. I'll turn right and then join the top of Curbar Edge. So we arrived at the sign, we turned off towards Curbar Gap. I did take a little detour just onto the side of the moor here to try and see the ancient cairn, but sadly, according to the OS map, I was directly on top of it, but I couldn't see it. So clearly it's just essentially kind of sunk under the ground. All the dead bracken is all on top, so you just can't see it. But this whole landscape is kind of littered with ancient monuments. So there's an enclosure just slightly further round, and then just this side of Curbar there is evidence of field systems. So way back in like the Bronze Age, this whole area would have been farmed, and there is, as I say, an ancient stone circle that we're going to have a look at, which I know does exist just over at Froggatt Edge. So we are up on Curbar Edge now, and this is a really popular rock climbing venue along with Froggatt Edge just up ahead. We're going to follow this for probably half a mile, then it turns into Froggatt Edge. We'll go past that ancient stone circle and certainly have a little look there. Might even stop to have some lunch there because we haven't stopped yet, and that's going to then take us down through some woods to rejoin the road where we've parked the van. As you cross the top of Curbar Edge, it's really important for you to look around at the surrounding landscape, because down over there is the legendary building of Chatsworth House, and the river actually runs kind of through the estate, and it looks like it's pretty flooded at the moment. Everywhere is pretty flooded, but on a positive note, the weather is improving. I've got some blue sky. Look at this amazing ridge of cloud running up into the sky here. I'm guessing that's the edge of a weather front, and the sun is just starting to peek through. taken a tiny little detour off the path just to check out this stone circle, and here is one of several upright stones that still remain here. Now it is believed that this stone circle dates back to the Bronze Age and sits very close to Froggatt Edge, which overlooks the Derwent Valley on that side. Now it's made of relatively small gritstone blocks, each one of them only about ½ a metre or so in diameter, but most of them are under the ground, so you can't actually see how many stones there were originally, but you can make out lots of smaller boulders that form this ridge all the way around the stone circle.